皆さんおはようございます。あれこれじゃないわ。これでもない。これでもない。ちょっと待ってわ。ちょっと待って。What happened? There we go. So, very excited, very excited. I'm starting a whole new thing. We're just got ideas going. We're moving, we're schmoving. I gotta reset that. Get rid of these sub things. Whatever. We'll deal with that later. But yeah. So today will be the first installment of a new series we're gonna do called Japanese Movie Monday. And we're gonna start off with this weird movie. I just had Google spit out random movies, so I didn't choose these, which I think kind of makes it better and easier for me for sure. So what we're gonna do is we're not gonna like watch the movie. Obviously, we can't just watch a movie on YouTube. But I've gone through it. I did watch it now. It was okay. I mean, it was like pretty much every non-major Japanese movie. It's like nothing it's like things are happening, nothing happens. It's like every Japanese movie. It's like, oh, human interaction. So now what? I'm just gonna be okay with life. I think I'll just be okay with life. That's like every Japanese movie. A lot of them. So mic volume okay, music volume okay, everything okay. But essentially there's a couple things that I want to do with movies, but I think the kind of the coolest thing that I think will be fun about going through movies like this is like there's not a lot of stuff on YouTube that gets to show you or tells you about like, oh, good evening, irashai. There's not a lot of stuff on Japanese about, whatever. There's not a lot of stuff that really introduces you to like the details of Japanese culture. Like, for example, this is a little big. I'll just rearrange that later. There we go. Like one of the things we're gonna talk about homeless people in Japan today. Gonna talk about kind of sex work and kind of how that, not like in detail, but just very briefly, more about like how it affects those people. And I guess like just straight up prostitution in Japan. This show doesn't go too much into it. めっちゃ久々やね。めっちゃ久々。元気だった Mr. DX. How you doing, man? コンビニ pancakes, baby. If you eat them every day, they're horrible. But every once in a while. Married life. Were you married before? Never not busy. Amen. Yeah, always busy. When you got the kids. So yeah, and then what was the other thing? There's also another concept. So 3 concepts that we're gonna get into with this movie. It's like, so homeless people, prostitution, and kind of, I don't know how to explain it, but I'll teach you this do you guys know what Yoji Jukugo is? I'm sure some of you do. Yoji Jukugo. Have you ever seen that before? So here, I'll just leave it up. I only learned this one. I tried to study them for a little while, but then I realized like you can only it only matters when they come up. So Rizento-san. Anikura doga koushin chu. 4-letter words. So here's an example, and this, like, I know that Reasant definitely knows this one. So essentially there's tons of words. I'm sure if you guys know any kanji, check this out. Ready? Even basic kanji, if you know basic kanji, this one you might be able to figure out. But these are essentially like 4 kanji not phrases, four kanji. What's that word? Like an idiom. Hey, Afix. Yeah, it's kind of like an idiom. Like, ow, that hurt. But yeah. あ、わからないんだ。面白いね。結構そう、一石二鳥。それはみんなわかるよね。世界中。I want to know what country or like what like 一石二鳥 is such a cool like concept. I don't know. I got since it's like in every culture. I want to know where it started. I may or may not compounds. No, not compounds. Well, maybe that's what they're called, but I don't know them as that. Like they're basically like four kanji. It's not idiom. I mean, idiom kind of fits. What is that word? Not homonym, adonym. Kotowaza. Not proverb. It's not proverbs. We'll just call them idioms. Yeah, four kanji idioms. I'm sure there's a better name out there. I've never even thought about the English, really. I just call them four kanji phrases, which is good enough. So, teishu kanpaku. I'm surprised. So, Reason didn't even know this one. But this is one I learned 2 years ago. And I'll show you in the movie, but it's basically about like let's just call it like a jerk husband for now. But I'll explain later with context what that means. But basically it's like a husband who's a jerk. 4-character compound word, idiomatic, says jisho. I don't like that. Yeah, they have to do different stuff because they're a dictionary, so let them be. But that's all good. Hold on, let me. I don't know. We'll get work on other stuff. So I want to stay focused today. But essentially, here let's. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna look at the movie. 3 themes: homelessness, prostitution, mean husbands, strict husbands. I guess we'll say, like bad traditional husbands. I think is a good way to translate teishu kanpaku. It's like a bad traditional husband. And then I'll just very quickly show you, like, explain desmas, give you a kanji, and then maybe we'll do a little bit of quiz about all the stuff we talked about today, and then we'll finish. Okay, so we're aiming to finish within the next 50 minutes. 50. All right, so I'm just gonna swipe through. No, not that one. Why does it do that? Like, it's already here. All right, let me just get out of here, and then let's do this. No, this. There we go. Okay. So I'm just gonna clip through so I can explain. So the movie starts out. Here, let's get rid of the music, maybe. The movie starts out. It's this girl. Her name is Chihiro. Okay. I'll just show you a little piece. But she's very weird. Right? So here's a cat. She walks up to the cat. Bit hot. Why does it get so hot? Thank you. Just tell me, because I don't know. I think I changed my cable and it changed everything. So I appreciate it. New scene and I get louder. Oh. Hold on. That's interesting. Maybe. I think I know what the problem was before then. That means that I had 2 stacked. That's why it was sounding so weird. I had 2 mics stacked. Okay. I know the problem. I got it now. Let's get rid of you. And then full cam. Does full cam have a mic? Full cam does have a mic. Oh, I got it. This is good. This is good. どうしようかな. I will just have to fix this later. But now I know what the problem is. I'm gonna just change a couple things. I might be able to just do a quick fix. Can you hear me now? Should be okay. Yes, it's a very handsome cat. That's what I said. Okay. That'll be our hot fix. Now I know what to work on, and that solves problems. I think that's why my mic was... There was two different instances of my mic, and that's why the audio was so bad. That makes a lot of sense. So get rid of that. That should be fine. Like, I think I know. Alright. Well, now I know what to do. I was doing weird stuff before for certain reasons, but never realized it affected my mic, so that's good. Should be able to turn it up now, and here we go. So, she's weird. Here. She's weird. Her name's Chihiro. We don't know anything about her yet. She's playing with a cat. Alright. And she's weird. She keeps playing with the cat. She's like playing at a playground. Like, this is how we were introduced to this person, and we're like, one of those things I used to do was a test recording before we go live. Well, even that's the thing, is like, you do a test recording. Test recording. I see what you're saying. Yeah, it's hard to catch, and there's too much to do when you have 2 children and a wife. If I was doing this at for a national group of people, I think I would do that. All right, and then we find this weird creeper girl, kind of taking pictures of her. Right? She's weird. She's just walking around. We still don't know anything about her. And you're just like, okay, she's like eclectic or whatever. We find out she works at a... Anybody know what kind of store this is? なんていうお店ですか? Anybody know? So. Bento yasan. Very good, Afix. Bento yasan. Gonna end 0. Once I get into the YouTube thing, I'm gonna write it. All right. There we go. Bento yasan. Okay. So you do that. And we're like, okay, how does she interact with customers? Like, as soon as I saw this scene, I was like, okay, she's very casual with customers. But so eventually, yeah, like very like kind of blunt. She was like, oh, like hentai, ero jiji. Ero is kind of a eroi, like erotic, comes from that word. But she's like ero jiji. So like this old guy, like pervert old guy, you know, because he was like kind of giving her like sexist comments, but she just rolls off of it, and then they keep going, and you're like, huh, she's just very casual. So we still don't know anything about her. And then this happens, and right from the beginning, like this person is like, oh, you know, you really know how to deal with you know, men like that. Makes sense since you used to be a prostitute. And it's just like all of a sudden, what? So normally this is need like a big one for this. So normally, like if you were a prostitute in Japan, or if you used to be, his body language seemed a touch defensive to start with. Defensive? His or her? I see what you mean. Like sometimes you're kind of like afraid to do it, maybe, if that's what you mean. Trying to get better with Japanese is grammar, and currently re-going through 1,000 common vocab and spoken only. I should know 6,000, but those in Anki. Arms crossed. This arms crossed in Japanese culture doesn't necessarily have the same meaning as it does in our culture. So usually this guy? Usually if the way his arms are crossed, I feel like it depends. Like as soon as he came up to her, he dropped his arms. I mean, it's to take out his stuff, but it could be anything. Like, it's really hard to tell in such a short amount of time. But oftentimes, arms crossed in Japan can have some different meanings. I can't really remember them right now. But usually, crossing your arms is bad. Like, if we cross arms in a conversation, usually... Yeah, this is what I've heard is like if you're crossing your arms in a conversation in Japan, usually it's kind of like offensive, like you're kind of like showing that you're in charge in some way, like somebody who doesn't care as much. Because I think in some business book or something, or maybe through a friend, like they told me like don't cross your arms when you're like, you know, in a business situation. So it can have different meanings. But I was just surprised that it was so casual. And then like this, yeah, guys move through it. This is the main part I want to show you. So get to it. So here she is. We're going to just watch this clip. Okay. Maybe it's like 3 minutes. Okay. And then I'll talk to you about my experiences with homeless people and kind of what I think. Yeah. 'Hold on. It's probably very low for you guys, right? Let me turn it up. Should be able to hear it better now. So they're saying, the kids are like, oh, this guy stinks.
おじさん、ここら辺の人。どっから来たの？おーい。お弁当あるけど食べる？
Yeah, I like that. So I don't know about you guys, but I've spent a lot of time with homeless people in the US, much more in the US, but in Japan as well. And I feel like this is a pretty good interaction. Depends on the person, but most people don't really smile. Like, so here's what I have to say. Here we go. We got Movie Monday. So just real quick. So you've got your homeless guy. We haven't gotten to this part yet, but essentially it's about to happen. And what did you guys notice about him? Here, we'll finish watching the scene. We'll finish watching the scene, and then let me ask you that question. What do you notice about this homeless guy? And 日本語は homeless. It's just there's no kanji. It's homeless.
そこいらの店とは一味違うんだよね。長井っておばちゃん言い方きつくて正直死ねやババアと思ったりするんだけど、漬物とね梅干しがくっそうまいの。あれよ、梅干しはめちゃくちゃしょっぱいやつね。くーっていうしょっぱさが他のおかずの優しさを引き立てるんだよね。でこの話面白い？梅干し苦手なの？いやーもったいないな。じゃあお言葉に甘えて。
Very cute. So what did you notice about this homeless guy? Like, think about a homeless person in your home country. He doesn't speak. That's right. He never talked. Not even once. And I whole movie, she meets up with him a couple more times. He never talks. Okay. This is very accurate. Very accurate. So homeless の日本人はあまり話さない。ホームレスの日本人はあまり話さない。And this is very much what I have experienced too. If you come across a homeless person just on the street, or a homeless person sometimes in train stations or around train stations, look, I've tried to talk to, when I was in Kobe especially, now I'm in a different area. There are homeless people where I am, but they're fine. Like, there's just a lot of stuff here, and they have their own place. There's not many, so they don't really have to, like, really fight anybody else. There's just plenty of resources here for them. But yeah, never talked. So there's only been one homeless person I've talked to. I talked to them in Osaka. Where was it? Tennoji and Namba, I think. They, my guess is they don't want to stick out and bother others. In general, there's like kind of like two sides or two possibilities. They feel, yeah, like they don't want to be any more burden, and or like they don't feel worthy, essentially. Like, it doesn't really matter what I said. There are some homeless people who will beg on this one bridge in Osaka. And sometimes there's like a guy who would talk to me, but I think it's more of like an age thing. The guys who are really old rarely talk. There's one guy in Kobe that I used to hang out with, and I would just buy him onigiri. So like, if you're ever in Japan and you want to, if you see a homeless person, you want to help them, some will receive money, like, especially if they have a little, cap or thing, to receive money, and they'll take it. But, sometimes, like, just an onigiri from the kombini is more. It just depends. But the problem is, like, you can try to talk to them and be like, hey, what do you need right now? Like, let me help you. I'll buy you some, we need a toothbrush, but, onigiri, bento. Like, it really doesn't matter. Dude, some people, I think this is an extreme case, but there was one guy I tried to help. He just refused everything. I gave him like my old coat, like 1,000 yen, some onigiri, and I put it in this IKEA, like a nice IKEA bag, you know, like the strong, not nice, but it's the strong IKEA bags. And I was like, oh, he could use the bag too. I talked to him for like 10 minutes, just explaining. It's like, they really don't want to be pitied, Japanese homeless people. That was what, there's like a homeless group leader lady told me. She was like, please don't like look down on them and like be like, oh my gosh, I just wanted to help you. They apparently like, they really don't like that. Which I understand, but probably Japanese people more than a Western person, let's say. So I tried to help this guy in all these ways, and I came back the next day because he's always in the same spot, so I would usually talk to him. But I came back the next day. My bag is still there. Everything is in it. He didn't even touch it. And I mean, it's just like, geez. And all I gotta say, I saw him once last year, so I was, you know, didn't know if he was dead or not. So I think he's still alive somewhere, but he just, the whole time, he would sit on the ground and he would wear slippers all year, and he would just go like this. Hide his head in his arms. I never know. I mean, I talked to that guy so much, didn't peep a word. Like, probably in total, I've talked to him over, you know, an hour. You know, you can only talk to somebody so long without like, and it just, he never spoke, not even once. So, yeah. So that's kind of like the homeless thing. I think most of them will enjoy food. If you ever want to interact with somebody, if not, then oh well. But it was nice. This is a nice one because, you know, he's having fun, she's having fun. So I thought it was kind of nice for that reason. So here we go. Moving on. So this is the part that like
おじさん、
おじさん、
一っ風呂浴びてかない？
一っ風呂浴びていけない? You want to take a quick bath? And then she gives him a bath, and I'm just like, nah. She's just over the top. Like, I will say this. They live in a really small area, like a neighborhood type area. I can believe it there. Very few people would do this. She's you know, she's had a traumatic experiences. So, similar story to that of a hikikomori. どうだろうね? How do you feel that? How do you feel that it's similar, Afix? Okay. Next, we saw her for a second. So there's this girl. This girl right here. You can't see my mouse. The one on the right. She likes anime. She likes manga. They don't want to be bothersome. Is that your experience? Failed it, I can see that. It failed, yes. But usually hikikomori doesn't have too much, at least from what I've learned and seen, doesn't have too much to do with being a burden to society. It's usually like they just don't leave home. And yeah, I mean, it's like a real actual mental illness categorized, and it's called, even in English, hikikomori. Yeah, so, but yeah, bimbo means poor. House with that, but yeah, no, there's no kanji or anything for that. It's more of like failed. Yeah, dude, I don't blame you. Like, I don't expect you to be a expert on this. We're just learning together, you know. So this girl, we don't know much about her yet, but she's just hanging out with friends. In my opinion, I don't know. Yes, these other girls are like anime, or sorry, like manga nerds too. Right, so she's like, but she doesn't seem to like fit in. I don't know. They just, I don't fully understand all of these dynamics. But this is a really good example of like studying this would be really good for learning Japanese. So she gets a text. Can you guys read this text? これ読める? Just the bottom half. This message right here. 読めますか？ Nice! Good. 読める。よかったね、リーゼント。あ、リーゼント逆に若いから、私より若いから、わかるかもしれないな。なんか、リーゼントはどう思う？この子たちは、ちょっと、なんか、この子は、ちょっとだけこの3人より、ちょっと、まあ、言い方ちょっとわからないけど、まあ、なんていうの。他の子たちの方が、若干可愛いと思う？そういう、なんか、ちょっとそういうイメージある？ Do you feel that way or am I wrong? It's hard to know. Today, Father, I will be. Where did you get I from? Where'd you get I from? Yeah, like if you want to learn like real conversational Japanese, that's why I tell people to do like high school dramas a lot, because they usually still speak very like pure basic conversation. Like they never really have too many serious conversations in a high school drama, right? 多分ある. Okay. So I don't know, maybe, but this was my guess is too, is like she is kind of the girl on the right is just slightly less attractive than the rest of the group. And I was wondering about that at the beginning, and later I think it kind of plays out. It's like she's just hanging out with them because she also likes manga and they like manga, and that's her way into, you know, having friends. So yeah, let's look at it. So this is a message. She's getting a message from her mom. 今日はお父さんが早く帰ってきます。Where's my typer, Rooney? No. Okay. 今日はお父さんが早く帰ってきます。I misinterpreted a part of this as well. Okay. This makes more sense. So, you've got basically she's saying dad is coming home early today, right? And we don't know what this means yet, but I'm going to show you that this is not good. But let's see how her friends react. Is it your parents? It's my mom. Man, your family is like so. Yeah, it's like your family. You guys are such like a happy family or whatever. Like you guys are so close, and they're kind of like, that's so awesome. And your dad is cool. He's tall. You guys still like go out and do stuff together, right? She's like, yeah. So they're kind of jealous. I don't know if they're just like saying stuff, but good family. Yeah. It's like they're kind of jealous of her and her dad. And she's like, and you'll see why, because her dad, not that great of a guy. Okay, look at this meal. Look at this meal. Does that look like... Let me get rid of this stupid thing. It keeps bothering me. Does that look like a normal dinner to you? Look at this freaking dinner. That is a gorgeous dinner. Gorgeous. Look at that. You got... It's like everything you could think of. Nikujaga, like fresh raw fish, like sashimi, some crazy thing. You got beans and soup and some kind of shrimp thing going on. Tell me, would you... すごいでしょこれ? I think that's an amazing dinner. Now watch and listen, okay? We're gonna watch another clip. Here we go. It's a bit much for one soup, 3 dishes. It's pretty intense, right? And there's a reason for that. たまにこういう料理が夕飯。すごいな。マジで？じゃあリゼントのお母さん最強やん。感謝せえ、感謝せえ。Like this is an amazing dinner. Like it's not just basic stuff. Like everything looks very good and healthy. So, すごいな。 So let's see why such a crazy dinner. So let's watch. We're gonna watch this whole clip. But listen and pay attention to the family dynamics.
そうだ邦子前に陶芸をやってみたいって言ってただろ
You said you liked pottery, right?
体験できるとこ見つけたから
I found a place that we can do it.
ありがとう。
あ、よかったわね、邦子。
うん。
Alright, watch this.
後輩の武田の知り合いがな熱海で陶芸教室開いててそれでぜひ
What's wrong? Let's see how Japanese you guys are. It took me like 1 second, but I was like, what's the matter here? Why is the dad stopping? Nande. This is the kind of stuff you can't get on regular YouTube videos. There's definitely no video about this. Why? Why is he all of a sudden... If you... No sauce? Yeah, what kind of sauce, Jakiru? What kind of sauce? That's right. No. Soy sauce. That's right. So let's watch this interaction. Shoyu. So shoyu. Shoyu ga nai. Do you remember how beautiful? Look at this layout. Ready? Okay. Let's look one more time. Do you remember how beautiful that dinner looks? And then this jerk of a father, how he acts, so arrogant.
見たいって
よかったわね、邦子。
うん。
Like you start to think, right? Like we're fooled. We're like, maybe he seems like a fine dad. Like he's fine. He just, he's calm. He's not angry.
後輩の武田の知り合いがな熱海で陶芸教室開いてて
He's
それ
smiling.
でぜひ
Immediate mood
ごめん
change.
なさい。今持ってきます。
Okay. Now here ties into our our lesson today. Based on what you guys know, des and mas. Des and mas is what? It's supposed to be polite, right? Isn't des and mas for polite? But here you have this mom talking to the dad and saying this. What gives? Nande? Why all this? ごめんなさい. ごめんなさい, polite. 今持ってきます, mas, polite. Why would she be using polite form with her own husband? Why would she be using polite form with her own husband? This is why I tell you guys all the time, tell my students at least, keigo, or the polite, plain, polite, casual dynamic of Japanese is the most complex. It's the hardest thing. It's not even about respect. So that's the thing. It's like, might be kind of respect, but like respect in what way? It's like, why should a wife... So Japanese politeness is distance. Something to do with lower oneself. I agree. I like what Chihiro said. Yeah, it's kind of the feeling we get is she might be a little fearful. She's kind of scared. Like the way that a little peon with their daimyo or something, you know, a little guy like the landlord, like, oh, I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. Please don't kill me. Like, this guy rules his house in fear. And that goes to our word, teishu kanpaku. So the idea here, I don't know don't ask me about the meanings behind the kanji and stuff. I don't really know. It means like stop, you know, stop Lord relation white. You know, like it doesn't help us. But this idea, this is a concept. So even if you don't remember this word, teishu kanpaku. Oh wait, you can't see it. Hold on. Even if you don't remember this word, that's fine. Okay, you don't need to remember this. What you do need to understand is there is a type of husband in Japan. It's like, I'll just call it like traditional ruler of the house. It's like bad traditional husband. So wife equals all, wife does all the chores. Wife takes care of all children's stuff. Wife makes all meals. Husband does all, you know, like traditional work. So essentially, husband doesn't have to do anything, right? This is, as we all know, this is a bad husband. This is an example of a poor husband who makes his wife do all the chores, or expects her to do it all the time, expects the wife to do all the meals. It's okay to have, you know, trade-offs, like I'll do this, you do that. But like making oneself lower in status and he should be honored. Yeah, I think that fits, right? Because basically he's creating truly like a lordship position. And it kind of reflects this kanji, right? Yeah, this part, not just the Japanese concept, but in this way, it still exists in Japan. It's a little bit different. I don't know how to quite explain it, but like I think in the US, this concept, like, you know, I'll do all the work, you know, you take care of the kids and stuff. I feel like the American version of this is the husband is a little lazy, and he's like, look, I did all this work. Can't you just do that? It's kind of like that. In the Japanese version of this, it's I'm doing all the work. You do it. That's your job, isn't it? It's kind of angry. I'm sure there's some Americans like that, but in stereotypically, it's getting hot. Stereotypically in Japan, it's kind of a little bit more fierce. So all this to say, yes, des mas is polite, but not all the time. It's not always just straightforward, oh, this is my boss, so I must be polite. Sometimes it's out of fear. Sometimes it's very strange dynamics. So, and nuances and things like that. There's probably a Machiavelli quote for this situation, but it escapes me. Yeah. It's funny. I always remember that. It's like love, you know, rule through fear, not love, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I remember that from high school. Funny. That one really stuck. That was like a, you know, good point. Like that's a lesson I hope all kids study as they grow up. Cause, just one time I remember hearing about ruling with love versus fear, and it always stuck with me. It's hard not to be it's hard to be loving all the time, but we at least know that we can know that love is the right direction, not fear. So yeah, this guy, well, I think there's a little bit more to the clip. Let me just let me see. So, oh yeah, you gotta watch this. This is where you see it's ridiculous. Like, just stops talking, doesn't move, just holds it there. as if she didn't go get it right there, he's gonna have a fit. And the kids know it. The older daughter certainly knows it. And he's like, you ruined my meal. That's like what he's thinking right now. But he's slowly like, it's fine now. Like, ugh. Ugh. That's just not good. I thought I turned that off. Get out of here. So yeah, that's the second concept. Third concept, it's not really a concept. Just thought it was fun to watch. Matsuri.
これでバジルってちょっと関取みたいじゃない？
ああ、いいじゃない。まあ、スポナみたいなもんでしょ。二人とも。
So just context, this person to her right is probably still in some kind of prostitution slash kyabakura type job. So it means like they're working at a club or something like that. So kyabakura, you guys probably don't even know what that is. So kyabakura. And kyabajo. So this actually, I didn't know this till maybe a few years ago. It's short for cabaret club. But wrong spelling. Cabaret club. I was like, what? I didn't know it came from English slash French or whatever. So yeah. YouTube's like, hey, we sent some stuff. I'm like, well, it's education, so you can unblock it later. Yeah. So hi onegaishimasu. And so the game, I just want to talk about the game they're playing, but this is called Kinjo Sukui. Kinjo sorry. Kingyo Sukui. Kingyo Sukui. Where is it? It shouldn't start on there. Huh. Anyway. So essentially, I guess I didn't make a thing for that, so hold on. Just so we can have it for sure. So essentially, des mas, I just want to try to teach this every little time. With des and mas, these are your two basic beginner polite sentence endings. So with nouns and not adjectives, it's going to be des ending. And with just for basic now later tense or the present form or whatever you want to call it. And then with verbs, positive verbs, we're going to have mas. So one example of each, we would say kyou desu, that's today. Suki desu, I like. And the opposite, or the plane of that would just be kyou. You don't say anything. Suki. And then tabemasu, nomimasu, drink, eat. And then these, their plane is a little different. So just a simple concept. So if you see des or mas, all you should really think is, oh, this is a polite sentence. This sentence is not casual. That's kind of the main thing. If you're trying to study for the M5, we're going through N5 right now. That's kind of the main thing. Des and mas. Des mas. All right. So, oh, that's right. I was supposed to do it after. Sold on it. I did have stuff planned. All right. Well, I'll explain it again in a better way. But so for those of you who are here, you know me. Hold on. Just talk about my business for a second. But yeah, it takes more than a textbook to learn Japanese, and Wait, where's my notes? There we go. If you're struggling to find out why you're struggling, I definitely can relate. It was hard for me too, but I had my own Japanese language mentor, and he helped guide me through kind of those basic conversational shortcuts so I could really start speaking with Japanese people. And kind of some of the feedback that I've gotten myself from my students is that they find the lessons fun and relaxed. Like, you know, you don't have to worry about when you're talking and stuff like that. So yeah, they're going to be suited to your goals. So we're not going to be learning about something that you didn't want to learn about. I'm very, very patient when it comes to listening to your guys' Japanese. And that's kind of something that I enjoy. I always love to kind of hear you struggle, if you know what I mean. I'm totally okay with just waiting. It could take you 5-10 minutes just to say, this is cheese, kore wa cheese desu, and I'll be happy just because you said it grammatically correct, you know. So let's essentially, we want to, if you would like, let's take some lessons so that you'll never need lessons ever again. Just focusing on the stuff that matters to you. Free consultation and $49 per lesson. If you want to meet up and just talk, if you're interested, just let me know. Huzzah. So this is what I wrote. I knew I planned something. I was like, wait a second. So, desmas. This is what you should think. How you end a sentence politely. If we get more into it, deshita, past tense, mashita, past tense. I think if that's all you want to learn today, if that's something you didn't know, that's a great place to start. So, samui desu. Ski desu. Maybe we should do it like this. Samui desu, ski desu, kyou desu. Right? But for mas, we can't do any of those. We need a verb. So taberu would be like the base verb. Tabemasu. Nomu, gonna have to change it. Nomimasu. That's it. Without getting into more detail, that's all that decimas is. And so you see decimas, how you end a sentence politely. Des and mas can be in different places. Like nomimasu no de, so then nani nani desu no de. It can be not at the end of the sentence, but most of the time it is. And for now, we want to understand, okay, if des or mas is at the end of a sentence, or deshita or mashita is at the end of the sentence, then it's polite. There are other things that make things polite, like masho, tabemashou, let's eat, or kudasai, kudasai. I think those are pretty much the main ones. And there's alternatives and stuff, but that's it. Yeah. Well, that is kind of the plan for today. That was the first movie Monday. I'm sure I'm going to get flagged every single week for doing a movie, but every time I've done that in my private lessons, and then I just argue against it. I say it's educational, blah, 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 then it's all good. And they just say, oh, okay, it's for education. I say, yeah, which it is, you know, that's what we're here for. All right, we finished in time. Woo! Yatta! Yay, yay, yay. So yeah, that's kind of the plan is, for movie Mondays, that's what we'll do. I'll like take some time to kind of go through a movie. It's just a random movie. Next week is going to be an anime. Next week we're going to do Kimi no Na wa. Kimi no Na wa. Yep. And yeah, we'll just see how it goes. Probably just your name. Your name is my name. I've never seen it, so now I have to watch that movie. Everybody's talked about it. So yeah, and I'll just add them to the list. And yeah. I don't know, what'd you guys think? 楽しかったですか? 楽しかった? Did you guys have fun? I actually enjoyed. I thought it was like better than expected. I was expecting it to kind of, you know, there's a lot of, I haven't done it yet, so I'm still a little blocky. It's not very smooth, but I definitely, I liked it. I was like, yeah, I want to tell people about these Japanese concepts and stuff like that. Like, you know, I've seen a video about Japanese homeless people on YouTube, but like, it's just not the same. Like, or Teishu Kanpaku, like this idea, like a concept about this, or like, I didn't really get too much into the prostitution thing, but essentially, like, it's pretty crushing for her. Yeah, interesting. I recognized a few things. I learned a few things. Yay! Yeah, as long as we can learn something, right? You know, and it's not like we're not going through a whole movie just watching it. It's just let's use movies and stuff like that to kind of figure out, like, you know, what else can we learn about Japanese society in a way that can kind of impact ourselves and change ourselves. So next week, Kimi no Na wa, I guess the kanji of the day is, here, let me work this in real quick so I can edit this later. So kanji of the day, the kanji of the day is, wait, what does it say? Okay. So the word of the, I want to do it different. So the word of the day is kyo. Kyo means, yes, today, kyo. For kyo, do not worry about which word, like, oh, where does it begin and end? Like, is this kyo? Is this u? Don't worry about that. Like, please, just, I don't even know. I don't think there is like an answer actually, because I think this was just a word. I don't know. This is kyo. Just read this whole thing is kyo. Specifically, this kanji. Maybe we'll do it like this. We'll draw in it. We'll draw. Let's draw this kanji. Boop. Actually, let's draw it outside so you guys can see. Yeah, actually, I'm gonna do it this one, and we'll do it like this. Alright. So kyo. This is it in normal handwriting, close to normal handwriting. Okay. So you guys can actually see, like, it's okay to write it a little bit different. That's kyo, normal handwriting versus computer. And it turns out you have at least one dictionary of 4 character compounds. Yeah, dude. I would, if you're going to try to study it, my advice is just look at it as a whole. Like, try to get a better grasp on the entire concept. I would highly recommend not studying each one. They really only pop up, like, there are definitely some common ones, but there's no resource out there that tells you what the common ones are. That's what I wanted to do, is start building them. Like Teishu Kanpaku, apparently it's even that is less Kanpaku, even that one's less common. But like Isseki Nicho, you have to know that one. You're gonna want to use it all the time in Japanese anyway. One, you know, 2 birds, 1 stone. And the kanji of the day is heat. Very, very good word to know. You can use it all the time. You can use it every every day. So heat. Heat. There you go. And it means day. So that's why, and sometimes it changes to be and stuff, right? So getsuyobi, kayobi, suiyobi, goro awase. You're talking about for this thing? Yeah, forget what it's called, but Japanese has a system for word meaning numbers like 428. Yeah, I think it's goro awase. Everybody else would know better than me. You guys know I'm not good with that stuff, so. Shibuya. Yeah, like, it was always fun in Twitch back in the day. People would like come in, they'd be like, oh, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, I don't know slang, bro. So yeah. So as part of a quiz, if you want, try to write down any words you learned today. Excuse me. As part of a quiz, try to write down a word you learned today or a concept you learned today in chat or in the comments. And yeah, I think we'll finish there. This is what I'm trying to go for today, aim for every day. Tomorrow we're going to talk about konbini snacks. 印象的. Ooh, いいね. So like limited edition konbini snacks, and kore sore are. Kore sore are and a little bit more so that we can cover some grounds. So all right, guys. 楽しかったです。ありがとうございます。I will see you guys tomorrow. また明日。バイバイ。